The only person that's ever stopping you from having what you want is yourself. There's nothing outside of yourself stopping you. You actually just have to hold the faith and show up as that version of you, and hold the faith and show up as that version of you, and hold the faith and hold the belief and keep showing up as that version of you. That is literally it. There are no fancy other secrets that are being kept. The energy is what needs to change within yourself.
Welcome to the Divine Hangout. I'm your host, Hillary Jubilee. It is my intention that when you listen to this podcast, you experience an increase in peace, abundance, and divine miracles in your life experience. If you love all things spirituality, wellness, healing, manifestation, and miracles, you are in the exact right place at the exact right time. Let's enter the portal together.
What's up, my loves? It's Hillary, and we're back with another episode of the Divine Hangout. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I love you. I have a really amazing video for you today, amazing episode for you today if you're listening. But before that, I just want to announce again my A Course in Miracles study group that's happening starting this Thursday, September 14th. It's going to be a 5-week study course run by my friend Rachel Hazel and I. It is in person in Victoria, BC if you're local, and then the opportunity to join via Zoom as well. It's by donation. If you want to email me at iphonehillary@gmail.com, you can RSVP and I will send you the sign up link and you can join. It is by donation. So just suggest a donation of 10 to 25 per session times 5 sessions. So 50 to 125 for the entire 5 sessions. And yeah, I would love to have you if you're at all interested in A Course in Miracles. It's just an introduction to the principles. Week 5 is about changing your reality. And my friend Rachel Hazel is the one who has been studying A Course in Miracles for 30 years. And she's the one that came up with the curriculum for this particular study group. So super excited to run that with her and would love to see you there. It starts this Thursday night. Okay, so this video, I am going to answer a comment that was left on one of my videos. So I made a video on the climbing a ladder challenge, which is a Neville Goddard concept, a few days ago. And the thumbnail says, test the law. So if you want to check that out, I will link it here, link it down below. But she left a comment, he or she left this comment. The person is Esros Kasafos 3533. So I'm not sure if that's what gender that person is, but they said, hey, I did this challenge and climbed the ladder in a few days. Congratulations, it took me many months to climb the ladder. So you are ahead of me on that one. But I could not apply it for my desires. Okay, so I wanted to answer this question in a video. It's very applicable and very relatable to anybody because, of course, manifesting things that we believe are less important or don't mean anything to us are a lot simpler or easier. You know, there's nothing easier or harder to the universe or to God to manifest. Like you can, as Abraham Hicks says, you can manifest a button as easy as a castle. It's nothing to the universe to bring you either. It's just our beliefs about what is possible and what's easier or harder to come in quicker or slower. It's just all based on your energy and your beliefs. So yes, climbing a ladder might be easier for some than, let's say, if you're trying to manifest a new car or a new partner or a new job or a new house. So I don't know what your desires are, but the first thing I wanted to say was that most of the time, I would almost guarantee that all of the time, we're living in a dream that we once had. So if you look around at your reality and your life, is there anything that you used to dream for that you are currently living right now? And even if the answer is just like something small and simple, you gotta start being grateful for what you already have, because you're not gonna manifest more if you're constantly resisting or downplaying what you're surrounded by. So is there something in your life, like for example, like me growing up, when I used to work in coffee shops. Like my first job was paper route, and then I worked in like a grocery store, and then like a smaller grocery store, and like Tim Hortons I worked in, and just like cafes and stuff like that, you know, when I was like young, late teens, early 20s. And I always saw people that worked downtown, and they would wear like nice outfits and high heels, and like I was like, oh, I just want to work downtown. I want to wear heels. I want to wear like a business outfit and like do my hair nice, and I want to work downtown. And not long later, I like fell into this job I was working for a bank, but it was not like a teller. It was like, I worked kind of behind the scenes counting money actually. It was really awesome. But I was typing all day, counting money all day. Didn't get to look that nice for that job. Like it was better than like working in a grocery store, but I was on a computer, I was typing, I worked downtown, and then I got a government job and I was really able to like dress how it was like the exact job. Anyway, so the purpose of saying that is like, if you look back to what you used to want, you usually have something in your life currently that you wished for previously. So I don't think it's 100% accurate to say that you've never manifested anything, because we're always manifesting. Our whole reality is just a reflection of whatever's going on within us vibrationally, whatever's going on in our thoughts, however we're thinking, feeling, acting. Our state of being is creating this outer world. There is no outer world. Everyone, everything is a reflection of whatever's going on in the mind. So it's an illusion that everything is outside of yourself, including your own body. Everything is a projection of the mind. So everything in your experience is a result of who you're being. So whether that's for better or for worse, you've created it. So just wanted to touch on that first. Be grateful for what you have in your life. Even if it's like, I have a roof over my head, even if it's like, I have a really good friend, even if it's like, I have family members that are like, you know, whatever it may be. Like, I don't know exactly what you're trying to manifest, but like, just count your blessings and make sure that you are saying thank you for your life. Because if you're not thankful for what you already have, how are you going to bring in more? Because you need to show up as the person. I'm going to touch on that, but you need to show up as the person that already has what you want. So even if you did manifest it and you're ungrateful for what is happening in your world now, you won't be grateful for it. You know, it probably won't come in, but even if it did come in, it's like, we always think like these desires are over here and they're going to make me happy. But how it really works is that we actually have to be happy with we just have to be happy right now. The thing outside of you is not what's going to make you happy. We always think that we want that thing so that we get this certain feeling within. And it's actually the opposite. We actually have to cultivate that feeling within and change who we're being and change our vibration or our state of being, change how we're showing up in the world, thinking, feeling, and acting to bring something new in. Because if you're still the same person, the same vibration, doing the same things every day. Are you complaining? Are you watching the news? What kind of content are you consuming? Like, what are you filling your brain with? Like, all of these things matter. So if you're just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, that is insanity, right? So there is some shifting that's gonna have to happen. Another thing to think about is, are you arguing for your own limitations? I realized that I was doing this with regards to my YouTube channel. I would tell people like, oh, it's my dream to be a full-time YouTuber. I would love to, just do my podcast and work online and work for myself and not, I do lashes and I still have that government job I mentioned. So I would always say like, oh, I work 3 jobs. I don't have enough time. Like, oh, if I had more time, I would do it. Like, that's arguing for my own limitations. You actually just have to become who you want to be. So I've made the choice and the decision to make daily videos and show up as a full-time YouTuber and make the time. If I had time to watch a show after all of my jobs, then I have time to make a video after all of my jobs. So making time for the habits of the person that you would want to be. So again, I don't know exactly what you're looking to manifest, but it doesn't matter. Like, a lot of these things are going to apply. You're going to need to shift your state of being. And sometimes that means taking actions. If you want something new, if you want something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. Another thing, is there anyone or anything in your experience that you need to let go of? I found that a lot of my desires were delayed by years because I was in a toxic relationship with somebody. As soon as I cut that person out of my experience and no longer put up with bullshit behavior and cut that toxic negative energy out of my life, it's a lack of self-respect and a lack of self-love to allow people to treat you with disrespect. So cutting out anybody who is bringing you down, anybody who you don't feel better. Like, if someone's not lifting you up, they're bringing you down, you might consider distancing yourself from somebody. Like, people do affect your energy as well. because it's going to affect the way you think and the way that you feel and the way that you show up. So cutting out anything, anyone that isn't serving you is going to be really powerful in getting to the next level as well. So to manifest, we have to think, feel, and act as if you are already the person that you're trying to be. So let's give an example. Let's say that you want to be in a relationship with the love of your life. And right now you're single. So observe your thought patterns. Are you negatively thinking about yourself? Do you wonder what's wrong with you? Are you down on yourself about being single? Are you insecure about being single? Have you looked at your childhood patterns? Are there types of people in your relationship life that you're allowing into your experience that don't serve you? Like, just observe your own patterns in that area. Like for me, I had to cut out the narcissistic, toxic ex, okay? Cut that completely off. And then I recognized a pattern within myself that I was still allowing situationships or F-boy situations that were just not at the caliber of man that I was looking for, okay? And it's hindering my energy. Like I'm allowing this like energy that doesn't align. So I wanted to be a wife. I wanted to be with the love of my life. So me entertaining men that are not at the level that I'm trying to be at is hindering and pushing that off, that reality away. So I wanted to be a wife, so I decided to start showing up as one. No more situationships. Cut them all off, okay? And it wasn't easy, okay? It wasn't easy. It's what I'm comfortable, it's what I'm used to. But that's the old version of me that needed to die. Neville Goddard talks about dying to your old self, die to the old man. Let the old version of yourself die and literally become the new person without seeing the evidence. Like you need to be showing up as that person. So in the relationship example, like who do you need to cut out? What habits are you doing? Another exercise that I've explained before is visualize the version of you that already has what you want, okay? Like seriously take the time to do this. Like if you really care about changing your life, just take a moment, go within and close your eyes and take time out of your day to go within and visualize the version of you that just already had, like just pick one or two or all of them, whatever. The version of you that already has what you want. So the version of me that already had the partner of my dreams is not going to be allowing BS behavior. They're not going to be like settling for somebody, just the vibes were not right. Like just, and you know intuitively, like if something isn't aligned, like cut out what needs to be cut out. And so I just started showing up as that person. I was like, I will literally be single and I don't care if I need to be alone for years before the right person comes along, because I would rather like love and respect myself rather than disrespect myself and dishonor myself by allowing these like just people that weren't aligned to continue on in my life. So I started showing up as the version of me that, you know, if you do this visualization, you imagine the version of you that already has what you want. And sometimes the habits or actions, like what would they be doing? How would they carry themselves? You know, like just imagine them and write a list down of all of the things that version of you does. And it may not exactly line up. So you, like, if you're trying to manifest a relationship, maybe that version of you works out, you know, like it's maybe like however that version of you like loves yourself, you know, that version of you probably respects yourself. Maybe they eat differently, maybe they work out, maybe they meditate every day. Like what are some habits that version of you does, and let that intuitively come up and write a list, and then have the discipline and the determination and the leap of faith to show up as that version of you with zero evidence. So the manifesting of like climbing a ladder and things like that, it's to build the faith in the law. It's like, okay, I can climb a ladder. Cool. Didn't care about that. Like, yeah, that's going to be a lot easier to manifest than something that you have a lot of resistance towards. But the only person that's ever stopping you from having what you want is yourself. There's nothing outside of yourself stopping you. So literally it's actually simpler than people think. You actually just have to hold the faith and show up as that version of you, and hold the faith and show up as that version of you and hold the faith and hold the belief and keep showing up as that version of you. Yes, you can fall asleep visualizing. Yes, you can affirm. But the number one thing that you need to do is shift your energy. So the belief and the faith in that version of you and in that reality already being complete is just so important. Just shift your energy to the version of you that already has what you want. That is literally it. There are no fancy other secrets that are being kept. The energy is what needs to change within yourself. Line up your thoughts, line up your actions, and line up how you feel with the version of yourself that already has what you want. I will say that like over and over again, like I'm making a video every day and I will say that in a million different ways in every video, I'm sure. That is it. Like, you can do that. Anyone can do that. It's like, it won't work if you don't believe it won't work. And I used to hear people say this. Sorry, this video is getting long, but I used to hear people say this on YouTube videos. Like before I was on YouTube, I would watch YouTube videos like this one of people talking about manifestation. And they would be like, you have to believe. Like, you have to believe in yourself and you have to believe in the law and you have to believe that it's already done. And it's like, but how do I believe? I would always be like, okay, like, what am I missing? What am I not hearing? Like, but how do I believe if I don't believe? Like, if I don't believe in myself? And like, it's literally a choice. You actually have the choice to step into that version of you and to step into that belief. It's all within your own mind. You can decide at any point in time, today, I choose to believe. Even if you don't feel it right away, it's like, I'm going to believe it, and just keep on making incremental moves towards the faith and choosing the faith every day. And that is literally it. Show up as the version of you who already has what you want. Think, feel, act as if you already have it, and your energy needs to be different. You cannot carry on doing the same habits, doing the same things as your old version, because everything in your reality is a reflection of how you've been being, how you've been feeling, how you've been acting, how you've been thinking. Just look around at your life, and that is evidence of how you've been feeling, thinking, and acting. So if you don't like it, you need to feel, think, and act differently. Before I manifested the love of my life, Joe, I had this, when I made that energetic decision to no longer allow these men, like just whatever situationships in my experience, I decided that he was coming towards me. I felt he was coming towards me. I had visions of him coming, like of him being in my life. Like I told people I felt him coming towards me, and there was no neediness. There was no lack. I loved myself. I did habits that made me feel good about myself. I worked out. I just lived my life happy and whole. And I didn't feel like I was missing anything. I was gonna, live my life and love my life and be grateful for what I had. In the meantime, knowing he's coming towards me, and whether that was 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or 4 months, or 4 years, I was like, I will not put up with anything less until he comes. And it was 4 weeks after energetically making that decision that he came in. So the power of showing up as that version of you, and the power of being okay without the evidence. You got to shift the energy without seeing the evidence. You have to trust in your own faith, trust in your own power, and just love where you're at. Because if you're resisting your current reality, you're resisting where you're at, you're resisting the alternative to your desire not coming, what you resist persists, and you're recreating the same stuff. So learning to love what you see in your reality, forgive yourself for creating whatever you've created so far. If you don't like it, that's okay. Just forgive yourself and look for the lessons and the blessings in what you've already created, and then choose something different. Choose a different perception of what you've already created, and then get into a different energy. 2 more points I'm going to make in this video. One of them is the willingness to act. So with my relationship example, the action was saying no to what no longer served me, because I was very aware of a pattern that I was doing, the same types of like men that weren't aligned, that it was like comfortable and easier to like allow them to, because it's like an ego boost or whatever, to completely cut off that energy. It was an action I had to take. So the willingness to take the action, because sometimes it's like, oh, you don't have to do anything. The law of attraction will, or the law of assumption, like just assume what you want and it will come to you. Yes, and you need to be willing to do whatever it takes, and it will be an inspired action. The action will feel right. The action will, and not always easy, but the action will feel aligned, and you'll know that it's the right thing to do. So you'll take that action because you know it's towards the next version of you and your desires coming in. So the willingness to act, because if you're unwilling to act, that is resistance. So being willing to do whatever it takes after you do that visualization, you get from your intuition and from your higher self, only you know what habits and what needs to be cut out, or what new habits you need to take on, or like how you're going to shift your energy and raise your vibration, shift your state of being. You know within what things you need to do. If you don't, meditate every day and it will come through, but do the exercise, get the download of what needs to happen, because you got to change your energy somehow. And then the last thing I'm going to say in this video is, it's getting kind of long, or in this episode, is that if you know Neville Goddard, I've talked about him before. He was a mystic from the 50s and 60s. He talked about manifestation. He talked about law of assumption, and he has a lot of different stories. You can hear him talk his lectures in his own voice on YouTube and stuff like that. It's awesome. One of the stories to do with Neville Goddard is that he had a teacher named Abdullah, and Abdullah taught him in this way. Okay, so there was a story where Neville Goddard really wanted to go to Barbados. He's from Barbados, okay? And I think he was in New York at the time. He wanted to go to Barbados to be with his family. And he had no money. He was a dancer, and he was just poor. He just didn't have enough money for, I think it was a ship that he would take. And Abdullah was teaching him how to manifest, okay? And he was saying, like, Abdullah, like, I need to get to Barbados. I don't know how it's gonna happen. And Abdullah would be like, you're in Barbados. You are in Barbados. And Neville Goddard would be like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm in New York. I'm in your house. Like, what do you mean? And he's like, you're in Barbados. Like, he was adamant that it's already done. You're in Barbados. Like, literally just pick up the energy of what it is. It already is. Because reality is not real. And there are multiple other realities that are happening that we are not currently experiencing. If you want to experience a different reality, you need to get into the energy of that and know that it's already done. So Abdullah was trying to teach Neville that it's already done. And when Neville Goddard would, like, I think he would visualize and stuff like that, and he was doing what Abdullah was telling him, like, fall asleep, imagining you're already in Barbados. And then he would come to Abdullah and be like, Abdullah, I don't see, like, the date's coming closer and I don't see any evidence. Like, how is this going to happen? And he's like, you're in Barbados. And he would slam the door in his face and walk away. Like, there's nothing more to say. You're in Barbados. And so Neville Goddard would continue to sleep as though he were in Barbados. So, like, he's described this before, where, like, he would sleep in his bed. He's in New York, but he would sleep in his bed with the feeling of, like, like, geographically where he was. So, like, if you're, okay, I don't really know, I'm assuming New York is, like, more north and Barbados is more south. I'm not, like, the best at geography, but, like, I'm assuming that. So, like, he would sleep in Barbados and, like, imagine New York being north of him, when in his imagination, like, he's in Barbados. It's like there's a warm breeze coming, can hear the ocean or whatever it is, like, or his family's in the next room, and he's sleeping and he's, like, thinking of New York as being however many miles north of him. Even though he's physically in New York, he's imagining falling asleep as if he's in Barbados. So that's, like, falling asleep using SATs, state akin to sleep, to visualize what you already have, and then, like, staying in the energy of that as much as you can, but your subconscious is the most wide open right before you go to sleep and right when you wake up in the morning. So imagining at those times is really powerful, but you want to like stay in the energy and the faith and like be aligned as, you know, as much like you're becoming that person. You're not falling asleep as if you already are what you already have what you want, and then throughout the day complaining about your life. Like that doesn't work. You need to like align your energy like and fully commit to being that new person. If you're complaining about what is, and you're complaining about not having what you want yet, and then like doing a 10-minute visualization, you're canceling out the energy. Like it needs to be like a whole energy shift. Like you're a new person. Like you're making your dominant state of being this new person. So that's the Barbados story. It ended up being like his brother sent him a letter in the mail with the money for the ticket and being like, hey, I want you to come for Christmas to Barbados. Like, we miss you. And he didn't even know that Neville Goddard was trying to manifest going to Barbados. He just sent him the money for the ticket. And then there was something else with it. Like he went to the box office, got the ticket. And when he got the ticket, the teller was like, oh, well, we only have like the... I don't know the word for it, like the shittier seats. Like we don't have any first class left. We only have these left. So like whatever. So he's like, okay, whatever, like I'll take it. And then he went to Abdullah and he said, oh, it worked. Like I got the ticket. And he told him like, oh, I didn't get first class. I got this one, but like I still got the ticket. I'm going to go to Barbados. And Abdullah said, I don't know what you're talking about. You went to Barbados and you went first class. And he insisted, no, you went first class. And Neville Goddard went back to work and visualized going first class. So he like, you know, he's not going to settle for just the shitty ticket or whatever. And then at the last second or something, they called him and they're like, somehow he was like 10th on the wait list or something, but he got way ahead and he ended up getting the first class ticket. Anyway, I forget. You can go listen to it. Maybe I'll try to find the link of it and put it in my description box. This video is getting like hella long now, but like, it's so important. Hopefully this helps somebody. Like, I feel like there's a lot of good things in this video, but Abdullah was amazing. Another thing that was really cool about him was that he was darker skinned. I don't know if he was black, but he was darker skinned. And like in those days there was segregation, and he would walk to the theater and like they would have segregation in the theater. And Abdullah would just walk up there. Like he knows who he is. He knows that he's, you know, who he truly is. He knows that he's not the body, and that he just like didn't succumb to the society's way of like in that time. Obviously really messed up, but like he would just walk in and sit in like the place where like it was segregated, like where he wasn't supposed to sit or whatever, and nobody said anything to him because of his energy. Like he didn't have the energy like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Like he had a commanding energy and he just sat where he wanted. Nobody said anything. So that was really another really cool thing about him. It's just the power of the mind, the power of the energy, the power of shifting your state of being. So I pray that helps somebody. I was talking for like 30 minutes. I love you so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.